So Maddie here rightfully got a lot of attention from going to Idaho National Labs and posing with her baby bump against the nuclear waste canisters, showing how safely it's stored. And I would also like this attention. Educate the general public about radiological risk. The problem is that where I am right now, in Australia, it is illegal for me to go visit the nuclear waste from their one nuclear reactor. That is deemed an unsafe and unbelievable risk to take. I did visit the nuclear waste when I was in the UK at Sizewell B, and there was no extra radiation other than background radiation. But regardless, to one-up her, I'm gonna have to do something that is way more out there with way more radiological risk, something so extreme, something like granite. Within granite, there are little veins of uranium and thorium and radium, which means that if I was to stand here for an hour, I would get 0.3 mrems, and if I was to stay here for say 2 hours a day, 365 days, I would get 241 mrems of exposure, which is of course of great concern to the Australian regulatory and legal system. I could also take a flight. That would give me 1 mrem per 1,000 miles flown, more if I was flying longer or if I was flying higher up or closer to the poles. And that's because the Earth's magnetic field pushes cosmic radiation away from the equator and up towards the poles. So you get more if you're going somewhere cold. There's of course also just being in a stone, concrete or brick building for a year at 7 mrem. Outside though, you're not avoiding that 26 mrem from background radiation from the universe, but there is a more significant source of radiation that I do take very seriously. And of course, some of the most dangerous exposure that only the most wanton and inconsiderate of mothers would expose their children to: the potassium in bananas. Potassium is an essential mineral that your body needs, and it carries a small electrical charge. That's why it's an electrolyte, and that activates your cells and nerve functions. And a little bit of potassium is radioactive, only something like 0.01 mrem per banana. But the way that we've been eating these basically daily, the risk is high. So please, really consider if you're willing to take those kinds of risks for your unborn baby.